like maybe 10 people, celebrity people.
Yeah.
And he started talking and he said, I got it later on, but I was just looking at him and going, well, usually I see if it's person centered, I guess from my intuition.
Yeah.
And he made me look sideways like this a lot. That was interesting.
You look
Yeah.
like that.
I was like, most of the time listening, but my head was sideways. I said, okay.
Sideways.
So the interesting thing that he said that I gave him credit for later was this. He said, well, people aren't going to use the word clothes anymore. They're just going to use the word Yeezy. So he said, put on your clothes. And he's like, they're going to say, put on your Yeezy. And we kind of like looked at each other and said, oh, this dude is like really on one. Wow. Okay, that's like...
Yeah.
All right. So the thing is that later on, I thought about Salvador Dali, and when they kicked him out of the Surrealist movement, he said, "I'm going to become Surrealism." And in fact, today, if you mention Surrealism, he is Surrealism. And he wasn't even in the movement, and they kicked him out. So with that example, I thought about what Kanye said this time. But I just think that the guys, they have tremendous pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys that have kind of went to the other side of things. And honest and truly, I mean, I would find more satisfaction in sitting down talking to him like this about maybe the word nigga, because I truly don't understand that from the bottom of my heart.
Oh,
From every cell in my body.
Right.
I don't know how those black guys can be going around saying that. That's like if you're Jewish saying kike all the fucking time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just...
And it's just
It
wrong.
just became a cool thing from
But it's not cool. It's seriously not cool.
Yeah,
and
it's just hard to change that.
I think those people don't get how wrong it is, and they think that it's such a surface, they're using it on such a surface level when really it has such a history.
It has such a history, and it fucks me up. And I'm totally African American, right? I was just listening to this guy this morning, just because he started off saying something, I forgot what he was talking about, but it got my attention. It's Eddie Griffin.
Oh, he says it all the time.
God, listen to him.
He always uses it.
And everybody's like laughing and shit, and I'm like, I was looking at that like this.
Yeah, I just think
That's
words
psychological.
But words give, like, I feel like we can give words all the meaning that
Not the word kike. Try going around fucking with that word, see how far you get.
No, I'm not saying any word. I'm saying certain words shouldn't be used because they're offensive, but I'm also saying that I think that, like, we can choose to give anything meaning.
No, when it's tied to history,
or
and
not.
when you're insulting this guy, when you're insulting a fucking culture, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
And I don't care, just because this intelligent guy found a way to make a living, like Jay-Z. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, let's say like Jay-Z found a way to make a living because that guy was selling drugs before. So all of that is absent anyway. When you can sell drugs to your own people that look just like you, that are your neighbors, and watch them crumble and you get a dime for it, you're already fucked up. So if that's your nucleus, you're already removed from things that matters.
Yeah.
And so now everybody is like, oh, Jay-Z, oh, Kanye, oh, and this and that and that. And me, I'm like, and Dave Chappelle, all of those people, I can't get over that because I won't advance myself fucking somebody or insulting somebody. Like, that's why you walked in here and felt my painting, because I'm bringing a different narrative to my own culture, but humanity at large.
Yeah, there's so much depth to his art.
So when I see somebody and then the audacity to try to normalize that shit is a straight insult to my ancestors and theirs too. I mean, my grandmother told me stories about her being called the nigga get off the sidewalk. She was to be 103. That was our coffee conversations. So you mean to tell me just because it's making you $1 that it becomes cool? That you want to take the power of it? How the fuck you gonna do that and you don't even have any power?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just totally absurd.
You don't have any power, meaning like...
Meaning that as black people, we don't have no fucking power. It may look like it because we're so fucking dope. You know, we changed the scores of everything. Sports, science, all kinds of shit. Just give us a chance. Move out of our fucking way and watch.
Music, art.
Everything. All it needs us to do is a chance. Throughout history.
There's a new show called Snowfall about the crack epidemic in the 80s.
Oh yeah, I remember Snowfall because John Singleton did a couple of episodes before he died.
Well, it's like his show, really, and it's like pretty dope, like just to see, you know, how it all started and that this kind of culture and like, you know, how wrong it was for them to be selling to their own people. And
I mean, but not only that, see, I'm old enough to know, and I come from the inner city, right? So I remember when it was
LA
cool. No, Philadelphia.
Philly.
And then moved to New York, you know. So I know the whole, how old are you?
37.
37, okay.
38.
So,
shit.
So the fact of the matter is that, look, when you see a neighborhood, okay, I didn't even know that was like a poor, it wasn't really a poor neighborhood. This shit was dope. I'm talking about the 70s, right? Early 70s. I mean, you had Mr. Green over there. He said, you young guys want to go play baseball? Jump in my station wagon. And we're playing baseball and shit. The water ice truck comes. The chicks are playing double dutch and the dudes are playing the checkers on the street. Mom, dad calls, it's dinner time. But I would go in, wash up, eat, and do the same shit the next day. Listen to that dope music coming out from Motown. Slowly but surely, Sly and the Family Stone, Stevie Wonder, James Brown. Just listen to it roll out, you know? Bruce Lee came out and shit, and it was so dope. And then...
Bruce Lee was a huge part of this show, actually.
What show?
Snowfall.
Oh,
the
really?
kid was like a Bruce Lee fan.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
It was dope.
I wanna watch that. So what happened was, during this time, it was fun, right? And there's this album came out. Now pay close attention because this is very interesting, man. And I grew up on Sly and the Family Stone saying, "You can make it if you try. You can make it if you."
That's like the music in the show.
Yeah.
It's all that music.
But that was, and then I'll say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. That shit was like, you know, it's like we're coming up with some confidence from getting our asses whipped all the time, right? And here's what happened, brother. I'm about to lay it on you.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this album came out called the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah. Don't.
Every fucking body learned that song. If you knew all the words of that, you can get laid.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew that song.
Yeah.
And here's the deal: those guys were too nice. Those guys like Russell Simmons and all of these fucking guys from New York, they was like, man, they taking our shit from the street. We gotta like get our shit back. So they did a couple songs. They found LL Cool J. That was all cool. LA doing his, you know, My Radio and all of that. That was cool. With Sylvia Rhone and all of those. And here's what happened. You can't move shit without money. And guess where the money started coming from?
The gangsters.
Jail. And gangsters and drug dealers that were in jail that had to move their money. Yo, dude, can we borrow like $10 million, man? You up in the slammer. By the time you get out, you're going to be straight. As long as you hook my boy up when he gets out, you know what I mean? And then it's like they funnel the money, push their music, and then this guy gets out of jail, boom, boom, to give him the thing, and it slowly starts to spin into that. LA, like, fuck the police. Right, yeah, because you're a fucking gangster, and that's the police's job.
Right.
So of course you're gonna say fuck the police, but it just blew up. And then people found a way from other nationalities to make money. Well, you give a certain person that's not connected to you a chance to make money. So these motherfucking niggers will do anything to make some money. That's what they're saying. So let's just put them on. You pay us, and then it's this. It comes from a fucking default. And I watch these motherfuckers normalize it. They get zero respect from me. Because I'm a man that lives from tea and rice with a purpose. You know? I'm not made of money. I'm made of purpose. And where the fuck is purpose these days? When a girl is singing about her wet ass pussy. Yeah. And it's number one. What the fuck is that? I love pussy and I love women. I love lovemaking. I love all of that. That shit is nasty.
Bro, we just told our whole sober living they can't listen to that shit. And I got a little bit upset about who are these people we're looking up to now? Like these kids
exactly.
with the
That's my
fucking
point.
guns and the drugs. Because we have a sober living and there's like 22 kids in there and they're listening to this stupidest shit. I'm like, dude, I had Rage Against the Machine and Tool and like Bradley Noel and Kurt Cobain. Like we grew up with like musicians and artists, you know.
Right.
They got kids talking about, you know, open up the window. Don't let out the antidote. It's just all drugs, and they're using that word a lot. I don't really get it either. I mean,
and it's sort of like, it's just very clear. It's like sometimes it is, you know, the same thing. Like when I say it's expensive to be broke. You know what I mean? Sort of like if you have under $100 in your bank account, they charging you $10 a month.
Yeah, that's a great.
Sort of like, motherfucker, I only have $100. Yeah. But if you got $1 million, they're not touching your shit.
Right, you get more.
Yes,
they double it.
That's right. And you see, it makes no sense, right? So that's the way this is.
Well, I think the pendulum, it swings like. It's fucked up right now, but there'll be like an equal and opposite reaction of purpose, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. And what we're doing with Learning to Lose and my brand and my whole thing is about transparency, honesty, humility, purpose, sobriety.
Yeah.
We're trying to do our part. Yeah, no, I got. Well, this is the gallery copy.
So So
I hear you, man. And I'm like tapped in, bro. Like Sylvia Rohn was my. I had a record deal with Motown.
Oh, you were.
She was my. I produced electronic hip hop music.
Oh shit.
I toured with LMFAO. Barry Gordy's son in LMFAO.
Yeah.
Red Foo was like I put them on, and my group was called Hypercrush. It was like hip hop, electro.
Right.
And I remember like Sylvia Rohn signed us.
Yeah.
You know, like so when you mentioned her, it was a trip.
Yeah.
Like I remember like her like being stoked on, and then on our new single, and then it kind of Motown collapsed and.
Yeah, but she brought it back up, Ethiopia here, and this kind of conversation I'm having with you, which is why Coach K and all those guys they all come here, because that's how they make their living. But they gotta have some realism, real shit spoken to them.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a guy, you can't pay me to